Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the rest of the week that was in pro wrestling. So that's going to include WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Definitely been a while since I've covered these two, but gonna get you up to speed for SummerSlam and All In, which two big shows coming up. So we're going to start off with WWE SmackDown. Starts off with a recap from Money in the Bank, because of course we do. Then we get a Tiffany Stratton promo, which definitely an interesting way to start off the show. Basically bragging about her Money in the Bank win. Calls herself the real star of the show, which is interesting. Then calls out Liv Morgan, who is the Women's World Champion, Roxanne Perez, who is the NXT Women's Champion, and Bayley. Keep your head on a swivel because it's Tiffy time, which, that's a great catchphrase. Speaking of, out comes Bayley, out to congratulate Tiffany Stratton on the Money in the Bank win, saying she knows what it takes to get here. Then she says, I don't care what time it is. I won Money in the Bank in 2019. Didn't even know, back then you didn't even know what WWE was. And that's true because Tiffany is actually a next in line athlete. She's not a wrestler, which is interesting. And Bayley with some last piece of advice. If you plan to use that on me, prepare to lose your cash in. Oh, they get in each other's face. Then out comes Nia Jax. Last, Bayley, what the heck are you doing? Oh, don't forget your match against me at SummerSlam. I don't know who you think you are. You're talking to. This is Bayley. I'm a Grand Slam champion, and I'm going to embarrass you at SummerSlam. But let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's say you do beat me. Tiffany, will you cash in on Nia? Ooh. Interesting, trying to divide and conquer. Nia Jax then replies, well, I know you're not the hugger anymore, but what you're trying to prove, you're not a champion, you're my victim. So then Bayley starts the brawl with Nia. Tiffany Stratton jumps in. Numbers are too uneven. Then out comes Mia Yim with a kendo stick to run them both off. But then Nia crushes them. Actually, we'll get to that one a little later. So, very interesting to start. We'll get to this rivalry a little bit later. We then cut to Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They're waiting outside of Nick Aldis' office. One of the interviewers tries to come up and interview him, with Green saying, the whole world is calling me the mother of mayhem, and I'm here to wait for Nick Aldis. She's got a neck brace on, and Piper Niven is like baby birding her with a bedazzled cup. I don't even know what kind of cup, but it was funny looking. We'll get to them a little bit later. We then get into our first match of the evening as Mia Yim takes on Nia Jax. This was a pretty basic TV match. Nia has advantage early. Mia Yim fights back. Mia tries for the eat defeat, but Nia counters. Nia then misses a leg drop, in which then Tiffany Stratton gets on the apron. She distracts the ref for a little while. Then Bayley takes out Tiffany. Mia Yim takes out Tiffany with a drop kick. And then a crazy DDT for only 2. And Nia Jax with a Samoan drop into an Annihilator for the victory. Bayley then attacks Nia Jax in post-match. Numbers are way too much. Nia Jax with a big splash in the corner. Tiffany Stratton with a sky high. That was impressive. And then Nia follows up with a leg drop. And as Nia is leaving, Tiffany actually goes to the ref to try and cash in. But Nia Jax catches her, saying, "What the heck are you doing?" And they leave the ring together. So definitely some dissension in the ranks. Are we seeing a Stratton face turn? Because, I don't know. I don't love that. But a teased cash in. That was, interesting. Definitely some interesting play with the briefcase. Anyway, we then go to some, I want to say it's the Bloodline's new locker room, but it was somewhere backstage. It was a little vignette with Solo taking the lead, saying, "All will be fair game. Since Roman's been taken down, so that's why I'm tribal chief. We are hungry. My boys are ready. We knew for decades how good we are, and everybody's going to acknowledge me." So, nice fired up promo from the Bloodline, especially Solo, who definitely needed something like this. We then have a very weird, in the crowd before anyone shows up, interview with Andrade. Interview asks Andrade what's next. It's all the same. Before Andrade could really answer, Carmelo Hayes gets in and asked, "Why are you talking to this loser? He's the one ducking me." Andrade then turns to Carmelo Hayes, saying, "Melo, what have you done? What's next for Andrade?" Him. An Andrade Carmelo Hayes rivalry. I'm down. Let's do it. We then go to this very weird tag team match as Baron Corbin teams up with Apollo Crews because reasons. I mean, I know Crews came to Corbin's aid after Legado del Fantasma attacked him, but this is the weirdest tag team combination I think I've ever seen, as they take on Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza of Legado del Fantasma. Apollo Crews pretty much gets it started before the bell, hitting a suicide dive while Legado del Fantasma were making their entrance. So that means Baron Corbin and Humberto Carrillo get it started. And the tag match was fine, I guess. Nothing really, super interesting going on. One point you have Apollo Crews going for the military press slam, but then Elektra Lopez gets on the apron, distracts the referee, and then Santos Escobar hits a big old knee on Apollo Crews. And then Angel or Humberto hits a wing clipper for the win for Legado del Fantasma. And like I said, it was a basic TV match, nothing really interesting going down, but it's whatever. Then we see Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They're still waiting outside Nick Aldis' office. In come Pretty Deadly, who's come to see Aldis about their musical they want to put on. They're still kind of doing that. Then Niven tells them to get in line. They get behind Green and Niven As that's going on, LA Knight leaves Nick Aldis's office. Says, yeah, I've seen him, but he's not seeing anyone else tonight. So then he heads for the ring. We'll get to him a little bit later. Because now we see Cody Rhodes. He's in the back. He's kind of just looking at his title with a look of dread on his face. Then in comes Randy Orton. Who tells Cody Rhodes, look, there's a good chance you're going to find yourself in a trap with the Samoans tonight. And like it or not, I've got your back. While Kevin Owens isn't here, because he's taking care of his family, he feels the same. And at some point, all of this is going to come to an end. And you're going to have a lot of men coming for that title. And even then, I'll always have your back. And they high five. Yeah, I think eventually we're going to get that Randy Orton-Cody Rhodes match. Doesn't look like it's going to be at SummerSlam. We'll get to that in a minute. So, yeah, definitely going to be interesting. We then go to an in-the-ring LA Knight promo saying, well, I didn't win Money in the Bank. I'm not one to complain. It didn't go my way. Someone else got the contract. But I am the walking embodiment of Money in the Bank. And look at my path to Money in the Bank. And he shows his Money in the Bank qualifying match in which he pinned United States Champion Logan Paul. And he brings that up. He says, well, on the surface, it did look like I just qualified for Money in the Bank. But let's look a little deeper. I pinned the United States Champion. And it's time for a little something different. I got something delivered to me. He has a little, folder looking thing. And it's just for me. It has Nick Aldis' signature on it. He then opens it up, signs it. Now it has mine on it. And it's for a U.S. title match at SummerSlam. And the only thing missing now is a signature from you, Logan Paul. So, Paul, get out here now. Beat kind of hits. No music. But, of course, he isn't here. Logan, I'm going to get this signed whether you like it or not. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. So, definitely an interesting rivalry growing with Logan Paul and LA Knight. I am almost certain we're going to be getting a new United States champion. Because I think it's needed. No offense to Logan Paul. He's a great wrestler. I think Knight needs it a little bit more. We then get a nice little Blair Davenport vignette. Which, that definitely looked cool. We then get Blair Davenport versus Naomi. A bit of a random match. But this match was pretty darn good. Like, this was a solid little matchup. A lot of really good back and forth. And a lot of counters, including Blair Davenport getting the knees up on Naomi's split-legged moonsault attempt. Eventually, Naomi hits the Bubba Bomb. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know what it is. To pick up the win, which that definitely surprised me. I thought Blair would definitely get the win here. But I'm not complaining too much. Because then we go backstage. Naomi, she's kind of holding her arm. And she runs into her former tag team partners for WrestleMania in Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. With Bianca and Jade hyping Naomi up. That's how you win it. They then pass by Nick Aldis' office, which, Nevin, Green, and Pretty Deadly are still in front of. And then someone offhand, I think it was Bianca, saying, oh, don't worry, Nick Aldis isn't here. Then we see Niven, Green, and Pretty Deadly just bust open the door, walk right in. Naomi, Bianca, and Jade continue their conversation. It's good to be quick, good game, enjoy the win. So then Jade and Bianca leave. Then Blair Davenport comes in saying, best person clearly won. Better luck next time. They shake hands. Blair then leaves, at least for the time being. Then we see Chelsea Green and Piper Niven walk right towards Naomi saying, I cannot believe he isn't here. And then they storm off. Then Naomi takes a couple more steps. She gets attacked from behind by Blair Davenport. So that rivalry isn't over. I guess we'll see where we are next week, because it could get pretty interesting. We then go to our main event match of the evening, and it's a rematch from last week, as it's the WWE Tag Team titles on the line, as A-Town Down Under, that's Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, take on Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa of DIY. And this match, it was interesting. There was a bit of a, I don't want to say a botch, but at least a little bit of a mistake with Theory doing some sort of DDT or suplex off the apron. I don't know. It looked a little awkward, but overall this match was pretty entertaining for what it was, including DIY hitting a shatter machine, homage to FTR, their longtime rivals. Then they hit a meet in the middle to pick up the victory. And as DIY are celebrating, out comes Jacob Fatu. Grayson Waller books it out of the arena, and he attacks DIY in Theory. Johnny Gargano hits a draping DDT. Fatu no-sells it, hits a super kick, hits a couple of hip attacks, Samoan drop, and just everyone gets a moonsault. Then out comes Solo Sikoa and the rest of the Bloodline. So, definitely going to be interesting to see. It definitely feels like we're setting up for DIY versus the Guerrillas of Destiny, which, yeah, definitely, absolutely. So then we get a Solo Sikoa promo. He tried the acknowledge me thing that Roman tries to do. He really doesn't have that presence to do that yet. I think I think something needs to be improved about that. Anyway, he continues. And I'm here to remind you of those who didn't acknowledge me. Jimmy Uso didn't. He's gone. Paul Heyman didn't. He's gone too. Roman Reigns, while you cheer for him now, you don't deserve Roman. And he got me no. I know he will acknowledge me when he returns. Tonight is about Cody Rhodes and his turn to acknowledge me. So then Cody Rhodes walks out. He grabs a microphone saying, I've heard everything you're saying. We want the same thing. I've spoken to Nick Aldis. The match is official. It's going to be you versus me for the title at SummerSlam. But if it were up to me, we wouldn't be waiting for SummerSlam. We'd do it right here, right now. We then see the Bloodline on all sides surrounding Cody Rhodes. They all take off their jackets and stuff. Cody then starts off by fighting off the Bloodline a little bit. Jacob Fatu with a great super kick. Numbers are way too much. They take advantage of Cody. Out comes Randy Orton. who tries to fight back. But once again, the numbers are too much. Then Jacob Fatu and Solo do something pretty interesting. They wrap the ring ropes around Cody so he's stuck. His arms are like this. His legs are bound. And they have Randy Orton right where they want him. And they brutalize the guy. Jacob Fatu picks up the ring steps, hurls it at him. Bunch of super kicks. They then set up an announce table. Triple powerbomb through it. All the while, Cody is like, no, I want to sacrifice myself. Don't do it. And then Solo is in his ear saying, this is on you, Cody. This is on you. And then Solo, big old Samoan spike to Cody. And then we see officials coming out to check on Randy Orton to end the show. This may be a little bit controversial. Besides the Bloodline stuff, nothing really stood out to me. Like, it was a fine episode, but, considering this is our first real build to SummerSlam, I kind of wanted a little bit more, Like, some more setup for some more things. And don't get me wrong, we did get that. We got, the start of the Nia Jax, Bayley, Tiffany Stratton thing going on. You got potentially the tag titles up for grabs now. U.S. title. The title matches are definitely pretty much set. But, I don't know. Some of the undercard stuff just feels Like, I don't know. Something needs to be shaken up in WWE soon. But I'm sure we'll see that down the line. Next up, we got AEW Rampage, baby. And honestly, this was a fun episode as we start off with Arya Daivari and Tony Nese of the Premier Athletes taking on Malachi Black and Brody King, the Kings of the Black Throne. Don't know what happened to Buddy Matthews. I guess he's still hurting, which is a shame. And this match was surprisingly competitive. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Nese and Daivari. They should not be having a 50-50 match with these two monsters. Eventually, Kings of the Black Throne take over, with Malachi Black finishing Tony Nese with a blackout to pick up the win. Then we get this weird little matchup as it's Roderick Strong taking on Big Trouble Ben Bishop. If you don't know who Ben Bishop is, he is a GTS alum, making his TV debut. And we start off with the usual big man takes advantage of the little guy, but then Roderick Strong fights back, hits a devastating Olympic slam, and then hits a jumping knee strike to pick up the win in what was, a fun little squash match. Bit of something different than just the local yokel. Then we see that the conglomeration, that's Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Mark Briscoe, they've been on commentary. They then get off commentary, walk out onto the stage, and have a stare down with the Kingdom. That match is going to be kind of interesting because, well, considering now that MJF is a heel again, their rivalry with MJF is kind of null and void. So the Kingdom definitely needs something different to do. Match up with essentially the Union 2024. Could be entertaining. We then get a backstage vignette from Deonna Purrazzo, promising change for the women's division in AEW, and the return of the age of the Virtuosa. And I'm going to say this, look out for this promo. because it was shot beautifully, and it felt unique. It felt like Purrazzo was actually special, which they're definitely trying to push her. I love Purrazzo, and this definitely put faith back in me for her in her AEW career. We then get this very interesting Fatal 4-Way match, as it's Rey Fenix, AR Fox, Commander, who I haven't seen in a while, and Angelico. And this was a weird mix of lucha libre speed and trying to slow things down, but also trying to keep them fast with Fox and Angelico. With Rey Fenix eventually picking up the win after an arm trap, whatever it was. It was definitely a weird finisher, but Rey Fenix picking up a win, always fun to see. We then get a little recap of the Stampede Street fight with Jericho and Joe. Then we go backstage to a Learning Tree interview, which actually happened on Dynamite, which is weird. With Jericho saying, "Why are you so surprised? You listen to the Learning Tree, good things happen. You don't, bad things happen. And if you need some help healing up Joe, try ginger black pepper," which, okay. We got more lessons to come this week on TV time, because as we all know, more TV time is better. Jericho then walks off. Big Bill gets on, says, "That's what we learn in the Learning Tree. You always got to maximize our minutes." Then we hear from Brian Keith saying, "If you don't respect Chris Jericho, we will make you." Woohoo. Fighting words. Alright, definitely. It's definitely interesting to see where the Learning Tree goes from here. Because, well, one, they don't need more members. And two, it's going to be interesting to see who interrupts. Because there ain't no way he's just going to be let talk. Anyway, next matchup, we got Thunder Rosa taking on Rachel Ellering, in which definitely good to see Rachel back in the ring. This was a pretty basic TV match, although very, very well done TV match. Really good back and forth, with eventually Thunder Rosa picking up the win after a Cobra clutch. Post-match, as Thunder Rosa is celebrating, Deonna Purrazzo attacks Thunder Rosa. Rachel Ellering gets up to break it up. Purrazzo hits a knee and a big boot to Ellering. So looks like the Thunder Rosa Purrazzo rivalry is still going down. And then Fine Alamo, we got our main event of the evening, as it's Top Flight and Action Andretti taking on Shane Taylor, not Trevor Lee, what's his name? Lee Moriarty and Anthony Ogogo in trios action. And I'm going to say this, it's definitely good to see Ogogo in the ring again, because he's super underrated. He definitely took to wrestling like a fish to water. And yeah, this match was absolutely great. It was kind of a breakneck pace, but it made sense why it was. And then like Shane Taylor would come in and slow things down a bit. And eventually with the win, after a KO punch from Ogogo and a pinfall from Lee Moriarty, your winners, Shane Taylor Promotions. So hopefully this leads to something for Shane Taylor Promotions. They are a really good stable, and honestly, some really good individuals. I'm going to say this might be a little controversial. I enjoyed Rampage a whole lot more than I enjoyed SmackDown. Now, does that mean, SmackDown bad? No. SmackDown wasn't bad. It was just okay. Rampage, I feel like, has been stepping it up a little bit more. And with All In coming in, we'll see what happens. So, yep, that'll do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry no Collision this week. I was a little busy on Saturday. So, yeah, regularly scheduled programming next week. It might be a little later than usual because I got something to do on Friday. Although it shouldn't take me too long. So, yeah, that'll do it for me. Until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.